This film also had the creepiest Santa. And you could,
oh my god,
like,
yeah! We need to find the fourth dimension, and by finding all these tiny little perfect things that happen in our neighborhood or in our town or whatever, we're gonna find the fourth dimension, and we're missing one. I'll pick Andrew Garfield. Peter 3.
Peter 3.
Ooh, that comic book filter.
This green ball?
This green tennis ball is Vecna, yeah. We're talking about Chippendales the dancers, right? Not Chippendales the chipmunks? Okay, I was just making sure. I didn't see it, but I know what you're talking about. I love that sweater. It's such a cool sweater.
Thank you. Like I said last time, I'm going to try to wear more Christmas sweaters. Even though when I came from back from my walk, I was very hot and sweaty, but I was like, look, I'm going to be cold, and I don't want to look like a potato every time on the podcast where I start like putting the blanket all the way up, and I'm just like, yeah, guys, it's going great.
Just slowly, yeah.
Right, so this way this should keep me a little bit warmer during the recordings.
And it's festive.
Right? It's so cool. Hold on, everybody. Out of the way, everybody.
Everyone needs to see the awesomeness. I like that it's like the Joker on this side of the sleeve and Batman on the other side. I love that. That's awesome.
It's fucking dope. And I probably shouldn't have, but I ordered another sweater.
Oh.
It's not really Christmas themed, but it's dope.
Ooh.
I'm excited to show you when it comes.
Heck yeah. I can't wait to see it. I'll have to pull out my Jaws one and start wearing that too that you got me.
Ooh, oh, that one's beautiful.
Right? I love it. It's so nice and warm too.
Like these are like actual like knitted sweaters. They're great.
Yeah. Awesome. Yep.
Because for a couple years, I was getting the sweatshirts that had like the Christmas print on them, and I like them. But like these are like where it's at, you know?
Traditional, yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, anyways. Hi, Cinema Peeps. I forgot you were here.
Hey, Cinema Peeps. We're just busy chatting about Christmas sweaters.
Yeah, 'tis the season to get fucking ready.
Yep.
And time for naps and hot cocoa and some tea.
Oh man, we bought a can of the Tim Hortons candy cane hot chocolate. But then I saw that they are advertising Bailey's like flavored menu, and I was like, is there a Bailey's hot? It's non-alcoholic, which it sucks, but I'm sure they can't sell alcohol. But anyways, I'm like, ooh, is there a Bailey's flavored hot chocolate? But there's not. So I was disappointed.
Lame.
They have a donut, but not hot chocolate.
Huh. And this is a Tim Hortons?
Yeah, it's all like Bailey's lattes and like ice caps, and then there's a donut. Yeah, it's like Bailey's flavored non-alcoholic beverage menu.
I don't want to be rude, but like I feel like the whole point of drinking Bailey's is for the alcohol,
right?
Like Bailey's doesn't have to me it doesn't have that much of a taste other than like creaminess. Like that's why we would put in like hot chocolates and stuff, because it has an extra creaminess level and a little boozy. But I wouldn't say Bailey's has a defined
distinct taste.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, because that's what I was wondering. I'm like, so what makes it Bailey's flavored if it's not alcoholic? Because Bailey's is basically just Irish whiskey and cream.
Yeah,
so
it's just cream.
There must be like a coffee mate flavor that they use, and it's just like artificial.
Maybe. Yeah, I think there's I've seen that before, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
It just reminds me of that stupid fucking meme where it's like your friend is like, oh, this tastes like Fireball, and the other friend's like, do you mean cinnamon? And they're like, oh. Or what was I watching? Oh, I was watching when I was binging Always Sunny in Philadelphia. One of the characters was like, oh look, I thought they didn't serve alcohol on the ship. They have screwdrivers right here. And they go, no, Charlie, that's just orange juice. What do you mean? It's a non-alcoholic drink? No, it's just orange juice. And they're like, who just drinks the orange juice? I'm like, some people do. And he's like, wow, that's so weird. That's what it made me think of. Like, I don't want to sound like I'm alcoholic or anything, but it's like, Bailey's doesn't have a taste. You drink it for the alcohol. Like, what the fuck?
Right?
Pulling it out. Oh, but yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, it's very strange. If I was a coffee drinker, I'd try it, but I don't like coffee, so it'll just be hot chocolate and Bailey's from home, or a green tea and Bailey's from home for me. So
I never tried green tea with Bailey's.
It's my dad's specialty. He likes to drink that at Christmas time because chocolate and his stomach do not agree very well together.
Right.
So usually he likes to drink, and he's not a coffee drinker either. So he'll go for the green tea, and then he just one time decided to throw some Baileys in there, and boom, he was like, "Yep, this is my holiday drink going forward."
Interesting.
Yeah.
I never put anything in my green tea, so
Oh yeah.
the idea of doing it sounds insane, but you never know, do you?
Right? You never know.
You never know. Okay, so I'm excited. So Kendra,
Okay.
you know how we're always like Apple Plus? You only have it for Ted Lasso
Mm-hmm.
and nothing else, obviously.
Yep.
So I just started watching a show on there.
Okay.
Have you heard of The After Party?
Then I think I've seen the advertisement for it, like on the banner when they show like those things. Yeah, I think I've seen that, but I don't know anything about it.
It's
classic me.
Classic you. Listen, classic me too. It was on like my radar. I remember they were promoting it at first. And I was like, oh yeah, maybe. And then I just never watched it. And then they were like, hey, season 2. I was like, oh yeah, I guess I never watched it. And then when we were flying to Boston, they had it. You could watch like the first 2 episodes. So I was like, oh, why not? So I watched it on the plane, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. And then when I got home, I actually rewatched the episodes on a bigger screen and not feeling nauseous to my stomach. Just to switch it up a little bit.
Yeah.
But it is great. I love it. And I was very sad when I was maybe halfway through season 2, and I was like, I wonder if there's another season. And of course I Googled it, and literally I think the article was like dated 2 days ago. They were like, oh yeah, it's been canceled. I was like,
oh no.
So sad. So there's only 2 seasons, but honestly, they're great.
Nice.
And in a way, maybe it's good they don't have a season 3.
Oh.
Maybe. It sucks, but maybe.
Maybe.
So I'll give you a little rundown.
Okay, yeah.
So as you've seen in the banner, Tiffany Haddish is the detective.
And
she is solving a murder at a high school reunion after party. And so the way she solves mysteries is she listens to everybody's, as she calls them, mind movies.
Okay.
So when the characters are, regaling their tale to the detective, they're kind of like in a very specific genre. So it's all shot in that genre, color corrected to that genre, and like the audio and the dialogue is very much of that genre.
Yeah.
So it's very fun to like go through all the characters and through all the different genres of like, movies. So like the first season, there's one of the other main characters, Anik. He's kind of like the prime suspect because he went upstairs, they heard him scream, and then they saw Xavier, their friend from high school, down below in the rocks. So he's kind of, unfortunately, the prime suspect.
Uh-oh.
So, like, his mind movie was all about romance because he was coming back for a second chance with the girl he had a big crush on in high school, Zoe. And then throughout the night, you go through all the characters' mind movies. There's, like, a musical one, there's a horror, there's an animation style one. It's a good time.
Nice. That sounds cool.
I really liked it, especially just for the aspect of hearing everybody's story.
Yeah.
And, like, and especially it's funny because it's through like their lens.
Yeah. So
you can kind of see where like things like are the same in other people's stories, and other where you're clearly like, oh yeah, that didn't. Like, for example, there's a character Zoe and Brett. They are a divorced couple. So, like, his was, like, an action movie where he's, like, the star, and he's like, I'm here to save my family, put it back together, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But you can kind of tell he's kind of full of hot air. So, like, there's this whole thing he's talking about. He's like, oh, I had to fight off security to get here. When it turns out, when you learn from another character in their mind movie, it was just a waiter being like, hey, maybe you shouldn't leave your kid in the car. And they were just having a fight. But he obviously, like, glossed it up to be this big, dramatic thing.
Right.
So it's very funny because it's very true to all the characters, and then you get to learn more about everybody at the party.
Oh, that's cool. I like that. I that sounds interesting.
Really, that's kind of what sold me. I like the idea of the mind movies.
Yeah.
They're great.
That's awesome.
And then in season 2, they really ramped it up, and they had a Wes Anderson style. Like, I don't know if you could really call that a genre.
You know? Pretty much, yeah.
But yeah, so there's like a Wes Anderson one, like. It's really great. I think it's really creative. And
awesome.
I think like it has a good like what is the word I'm looking for? Like the mystery is very solid. like I don't know. I like the character of like Tiffany Haddish's like how she solves mysteries because I mean.
Mhm.
I feel like, and I give kudos to anyone who tries to like write a mystery because to me that seems very difficult.
Yeah.
Like I love my Sherlock Holmes and my Batman, but sometimes it's like I could never follow that, you know? I could never
Yeah.
pick up on those things. But like the way she puts it is like, you know, it's all about like the people. Like yeah, obviously they still do like forensics and stuff and like
Yeah.
find clues, but like, you know, she's like you learn a lot from people. So
Okay.
I like that's kind of the angle they went with, so it kind of works with like the Mind movies, you know.
Okay.
And yeah, I don't know, it's just like a really fun, easy watch. I think, like I said, I really was into the Mind movie aspect. I thought that was super cool.
Heck
And
yeah.
that's kind of why I'm like, maybe it's for the best there's no season 3, because like I don't know what else they would have covered
Mhm.
in terms of like Mind movies.
Yeah.
But I mean it still makes me sad because I think it was really funny, but yeah. I just think I think if they were able to do a season 3, like I don't know what other genre they would have hit. Like I mean they didn't hit like superhero. But I guess
Okay.
they could have done that. Or been again, like I said, like Wes Anderson's not really a genre, but like hit like maybe like I know I just said superhero, but like a Christopher Nolan style,
Yeah.
maybe. And that's where it probably would get difficult to like have like longevity. 'Cause it's like
Right.
how many times do you do it? Like with I keep on calling him Unique, but it's Unique. He got like the romance like the sequel, you know,
Okay.
because
Yeah.
romances always get sequels, right? So
Right.
like in that sense it works. And that
Mhm.
was the only one they kind of like repeated in season 2
Okay.
because it made sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I just don't know for longevity how you would do more genres, you know.
Yeah.
But like for what it was, I had a great time.
Nice.
I am very sad it won't get more seasons, but you know what? 2 good quality season shows, like it's hard, you know. It's either you go too long and you're like, ugh, this sucks, or it's
Yeah.
too short. So
Yeah.
maybe it's the best of both worlds.
Nice.
Hmm.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely have to add that to my list because that sounds awesome. I like when they do things like that.
Right, so sorry, still no Christmas. I was so determined to watch Robbie Amell's Christmas, and every night I was like, oopsie, it's 1:30, never mind.
Right? I was going to watch it too, but
I'm
then I'm like, you know
determined.
what? I feel like I could wait a little bit on this one because I think
Okay.
Zena wants to watch it too, so her and I might watch it together. But then,
Yeah,
like,
this
we
week?
should- yeah,
This week?
yeah,
This week?
yeah. Maybe
All
this
of
week
us?
we should
All
do
of us?
it.
All of
Okay,
us? We
all of
watch
us.
it.
All of us. All right.
We all watch it. It'll be great.
Excellent. But speaking of like mystery and stuff like that,
Ooh.
and speaking of Zena, she she recommended that I watch a show called, oh my god, what's it called? Based on a True Story, starring Caleigh.
Oh! I
Yeah.
saw ads for it, and I was like really interested. I was like, oh, maybe.
Yeah, she was telling me about it, and she said because she had not really seen her in anything other than like The Big Bang Theory, because obviously that's where she is most known from.
Yeah, but she's been like, sorry, side note, she's been thriving.
Oh yeah, definitely. She's
I've been-
that flight attendant
Right?
show,
I was gonna-
and like
Been meaning to watch that. I know, like maybe it's a controversial pick. She's the voice of the Harley Quinn in the animated series, which I love that show. It's so
she's from
good.
8 Simple Rules.
Oh, I just saw that on Disney Plus recently, and I was like,
Yeah.
so sad.
Right?
But anyways, yes, that's kind of what piqued my interest too. Was I was like, oh, Caleigh Cuoco's in it. And
Yeah.
she's just been like boss ass bitch lady. So I was like, yeah, I'll watch it.
Hell yeah.
But
Yeah. So
did I? No.
right? So much content, so little time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, she highly recommended it. She said it really sucked her in. It was really, really good. So and because we were kind of like, I think I was talking to her about the Only Murders in the Building, and that's kind of how we got onto the conversation, because it's kind of similar where it's like they have a podcast and it's based off like mysteries and solving mysteries and stuff like that. But she said it's really, really good. So another recommendation we'll have to check out.
Thank you, Zena. I will.
Thanks,
thank
Zena.
you. Thank
Yep.
you. Thank you. Thank you. I was gonna say, for Only Murders in the Building, have you watched the newest season?
No, I haven't caught up yet. I'm still halfway through season 2.
Oh, girl.
I know.
Oh, girl.
I know.
I'm just kidding. We just said there's so much content.
Right.
We are slowly getting through season 3. I think we have 3 episodes left before the finale.
Okay.
3? Yes. Yeah, because we just watched, or maybe 2. That's so confusing because sometimes I'm like, yeah, we're on episode 8, so we have 2 left. But wait, we have to watch 8, so that's 3. Math be hard sometimes, okay? Math be so hard. But I think maybe we're on 9. So yeah, I think we only have 2 left.
Nice.
Either way, we're almost done.
Almost done, yeah.
And obviously, it was a big season. They got Meryl Streep and Paul Rudd.
Yes.
Big heavy hitters.
Heck yeah. Speaking of Paul Rudd, there's another Ghostbusters movie coming out, too.
Saw that trailer.
And oh yeah, also on the line of trailers, I know we're kind of like going all over the place right now, but have you seen the trailer for Madam Web?
Yes. I had to watch it twice because I was confused.
Right? Me too. I'm like, what is this? Is this obviously she's connected to Spider-Man in some way, or is this some sort of like alternate universe where he's like the anti-hero kind of thing?
Yeah. So I was gonna maybe try to, as always, do a little research, and I did not. But yes, I think this is part of Sony because they technically own the license to Spider-Man, so they can kind of do whatever the fuck they want. So yeah, they're creating Madam Web, and then yeah, she's protecting those girls who they did like a quick flash, and I recognized them from characters from Into the Spider-Verse. So there was like a Spider-Gwen, and yeah, the other characters I know, I just can't think of it right now, but they are. I'm sure they're in the Spider-Verse. And then when I saw this, I should have saved it, but I didn't. I saw like a picture where they were like, this is Madam Web, and like who the other girls were like technically playing. Okay. And they said supposedly, because they said that she was an EMT, that the person she works with was like Ben Parker, like a Peter Parker stand-in.
Okay, interesting.
So again, I don't know how this connects to anything because Sony just likes to do their own thing. Yeah. And rightfully so. They have the rights, so they're like, fuck it. We do whatever we want. Right? So yes, it's something within like Spider-Man's universe.
Okay. I was getting some like Morbius vibe. Yeah. So I was like, what is this? It's confusing, but I don't know. Like, yeah.
Right? So I don't know. And it has Dakota Johnson in it. So that's why I wasn't like super positive. I'm like, is this a superhero? Because that doesn't seem like something she would do. But
yeah, but I guess everyone wants to branch out and
right? And that should be fair. I shouldn't judge. Yeah. Let them do whatever they want.
I think lately, just like, not to get negative, but like just the trailers that are constantly doing like the slow, like haunting, like covers of songs and stuff like that. Just immediately lose my interest in the show itself. Like, I can't remember what song it is that's the song playing for this trailer, but there's been like
I want to say it's Bad Guys by Billie Eilish, but I don't think it's a Billie Eilish song.
Oh yeah, it is one of Billie Eilish's songs. I
don't think it's Bad Guy though.
Okay, yeah. Is it? So then it's not a cover, but it is a Billie Eilish song. But just that style.
No, but you're right. Essentially, it is a cover because they're changing like the tempo of it.
Kind of a little bit, yeah.
That's what I kind of consider a cover if you change something about it, like beat wise or like structure of it wise. Like to me, it's a cover. Yeah. I think for me, it just depends.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. When the Batman with Robert Pattinson. Again, I don't think it was a cover, but it was that song by Nirvana. Like, oh my god, I could not get enough of it.
That was dope. Yeah.
Oh, I could not. My friend was like, I hate that song so much, and I was like, bro, I've listened to it on repeat. I'm just like, I didn't know this song existed, and now my world's changed. So okay, here we are.
Right.
So yeah, I think it really depends.
It's true. It's all really I feel depends. Like it's all artistic choice and if it fits for the song. Like, cause I don't know, maybe this wasn't the one that started it, but I feel like the one that stands out in my mind that was kind of like of the time when they started doing that style of like slow haunting covers to like be the dramatic trailer music was Maleficent, when they had Lana Del Rey do Sweet Dreams by Eurythmics. And it was like, sweet dreams are made of these. It was like this really like kind of haunting, and it worked for the movie. You were like, ooh, okay, this looks sick. But then it kind of like just kept doing it to other movie trailers afterwards. And it was just like, okay, like, I get it, but
yeah, it's tough. I think. Yeah, I don't know if there's like a correct, like what instant, because you never know what's going to work or what not works.
Yeah.
And, and maybe maybe it is like visually, like maybe that's also another big sell, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, again, I don't think these songs are necessarily bad, but maybe, yeah, maybe they're trying to fit that mold of like, oh, this worked for another thing. We should do that. And it's
Right.
like, okay, but like if you don't actually have the magic ingredients that make it work, then it's not.
Yeah.
Because there were like times in the Madam Web trailer where I thought it kind of worked, but other times where it's like, huh. And then it's confusing as an audience member to be like, is this more of a slow pace, haunted, not haunted, like more of a thriller? Because this guy is clearly going after these girls to, as they
Yeah.
say, rewrite their stories because he's trying to eliminate them.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why I thought the song was Bad Guy. Because, right, that whole song's like, oh, you think I'm the tough guy, da 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 da.
Yeah.
And her whole thing is she's trying to protect them. So she's like, do you think I'm the bad guy when you're killed? Anyways, point aside, there are times where I think that works, and maybe story-wise, you know, songs, especially in a lot of Marvel movies lately, they've been using, like, the lyrics tell kind of a story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes, because I can't remember it now, but a couple of game theories, they were talking about how there were songs, maybe it was for Guardians, and how it, like, correlated a lot to the plot of the movie.
Yeah.
Which would make
Well, I
sense because
remember
James Gunn's really big into that. So
Yeah, and like the first trailer for the very first movie specifically, but the second one was dope too, but specifically the first one because it was Hooked on a Feeling, and just the way that they started it with it in his headphones, and that's how you kind of get introduced to his character because like the music is so definitive in that movie. So when he like jumps in and he's like, "Hey, that's mine, give it back," and the guy's listening to it on the headphones, and all of a sudden he like decks him in the face, and then it's like boom boom, they just kind of like get all those punches in there, all those beats, and then it just like, you know, gets through the whole music, and then by the end you get that like Hooked on a Feel, and you're like, okay, I'm ready, I'm sold for this movie, this looks, I'm pumped, right? Yeah.
So like, yeah, there are times like it works, but yeah, I guess I'm just confused if it's more of a thriller, but then there was definitely clearly more traditional superhero action sequence with him attacking the ambulance, which then I don't think works as well. But, you know, sometimes there are those times where, again, I don't know, that's why I call it secret magic sauce, because I don't know how the fuck that works, where you can play a song that has like almost nothing to do with what's happening with the clips. It's almost polar opposite, and yet somehow it works sometimes. But again, I don't know what it, like, I think there is like something, like, I don't know if there's a specific word. If anybody knows, please tell me. Where there's like this weird juxtaposition of like, maybe a slower song going with action, but like, there's something about it that just,
it's all about
works.
portraying whatever emotion you want to portray, right? Like if you're it's like either the drama or just like building up the epicness of it all, or like, because that's basically what you're doing with the music, is you're trying to set the tone for the story and like draw people in, and like, you know, if it's a familiar song, people go, oh, I know that song, okay, I'm gonna sit and watch it longer and see what this is all about, or, you know, whatever, right? But it's just, I'm not sure what you'd call it, but it's
magic sauce.
Sometimes exactly, sometimes it works and it's like, perfect, leave it, let's just walk away,
right? So I'd like to do a little bit of research on Madam Web and see what I can find about it.
Nice.
Because I mean, I don't know, it could be good. Like Sony has had I mean, they have Into the Spider-Verse, which is a bomb and is a banger.
Yeah.
But then they also made Morbius. So
yeah.
their track record's really funny. But then, you know, it makes it interesting. So we'll just have to wait and see. But alas, another superheroes.
Yeah. Still haven't quite recovered from our superhero burnout yet.
Right? And I think this week the Marvels comes out, and I'm just like,
oh, yes. Right?
I'm just
yeah.
So I'm excited to just watch more Christmas movies, or at
Hell
least
yeah.
start this week. Hopefully, finally, we'll see.
Hell yeah. I mean, that's still all I've been watching, really, other than I started watching a series called The Fall of the House of Usher on Netflix. And it's directed by Mike Flanagan, who is known for doing the House on Haunted Hill series, The Haunting of Bly Manor, I think it's called, is the other one. Midnight Mass. There's like a few of them. Like he has a whole bunch of different like kind
I
of
see.
anthology series on Netflix, and they're all horror themed or just like horror thriller based. This one seems like it's more like thriller mystery based right now, with like a little bit of elements of spookiness in it. But I've only seen the first episode. But it's pretty intriguing so far. I think the thing I like most though about his series is that he's known for like in each of his series he does this kind of thing where you'll be watching a scene and he'll place things in the background, like it'll be like a ghost or like a character or like a face, just kind of like so subtly that you don't like, you're so invested in what's going on in the foreground that you'll miss it unless it like disappears or it moves or you're like paying attention for it. But he does it in every single one of his series, and sometimes you catch it and you're like, oh shit, like, ooh, it's scary.
What's happening?
Yeah,
I've definitely seen it on my feed on YouTube. People be watching it.
Yep.
So I need to only watch the first episode, but do you plan to continue to watch, or
yes, I'm planning to continue to watch.
Is there any feat like, yeah, I mean, it's also on, like you said, it's on Netflix, so obviously it claims that it's trending, but
right? I never trust those.
right? Especially after somebody was saying how like they couldn't help but notice they were like sometimes it's, again, obviously it makes sense because they're Netflix shows, but I can't remember if it was someone either had a theory or if it was proven that like sometimes they'll put things on the trending, and because unfortunately we all kind of have monkey brains, which is okay, but I can't remember the exact wording of it, but basically it's like kind of that keeping up with the Jones mentality, because you're like, oh, this is the new thing, I want to
like
be
the
part
herd
of the
mentality.
Yeah, I want to be part of the conversation. I want to be included in this. So then people
Right.
start watching it. So then, then it actually starts, getting all these
popular.
numbers.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah, and then it like shoots up. So it is kind of a little tricky.
A little manipulative.
If it's true Netflix doing that, it's a little dirty. I mean, I can't be mad. That's smart. But then that makes me feel like, and then I'm like, well, I'm never gonna, not that I'm never gonna watch anything on what's on the trending thing, but I'm not really gonna fully trust it.
Right? Yeah, because like sometimes you'll check them out and you'll be like, really? People like this? Like, I mean, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but like, really?
Yeah. I feel that's where it probably runs into. So I did see it, but I was like, I don't know. But I did see it a lot on my YouTube queue, but I didn't watch anybody's review on it because I wasn't really sure so I didn't really know what it was about. I was like, I don't know what this is. So,
well, I mean, I highly recommend checking his series out because he's very much like it's probably not fair to compare the two, but I would say like his movies are like what Ryan Murphy was doing with American Horror Story, but Ryan Murphy kind of went more down a twisted route with his, and Mike Flanagan kind of sticks to like classic horror, which is obviously what I like, so I enjoy it a lot. And because like you were kind of watching some of the horror movies during Halloween, you might like it too. I will say there are a few jump scares, not like constant and not insane, but I feel like there's enough story to it that the odd jump scare here and there is rewarding. Plus the first series, The House on Haunted Hill, was filmed in Vancouver. I don't know if all of them are filmed in Vancouver, but the first one was filmed in Vancouver at the same place that they filmed the X-Men mansion and Oliver Queen's mansion.
Hell yeah.
So yeah.
Good mansion. Recommend that mansion. 10 out of 10.
Recommend that mansion, yeah.
Good mansion. Well, that's something I've been saying for years now, that I really want to watch those shows. So now that I know that's part of like, his style, that like, yeah, maybe I will give it a try one of these days.
Yeah, definitely.
Slowly work my way to it.
Yeah.
One of these days.
Yep.
I'll figure it out. Yeah. Anyways, I think I'll do it for today's podcast since I'm yawning. It means it should probably come to an end. What was my thought? I would like to throw in a recommendation. It's kind of newish this year, but Nailed It did another season, but they did it as a competition show. So instead of like just having like 3 bad bakers and picking the best out of the 3 bad bakers, they've kind of instead done a more traditional route, but they basically picked 10 people who like again, they're not good bakers, but they really want to get better.
Okay.
So then they take 10 and they dwindle it down to the best. And I think the best part of the show is just watching their progress throughout the entire season.
Nice.
And, like, I don't know, it's still very funny. It still has its funny moments, but I think it's really sweet.
Aw, I'm so excited.
Yeah, there's this one lady, and what I really like, this will kind of spoil it, but what I really like is that even though, like, they obviously, like I said, it's traditional, they kick people off every episode, but even if you got kicked off, they basically gave you a shopping cart, and they were like, you can take whatever you want from the studio. So they basically, essentially, like, I mean, obviously, most of them get, like, the mixers and the stuff, but those can cost, like, thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Like, good couple hundred for sure.
Yeah.
So, like, even if you lose, they're like, hey, we want to encourage you to continue this. Like, don't give up. So here, like, take everything to keep going. So that's
awesome.
why I really like it.
Heck yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I love watching. Honestly, everyone, if you haven't watched Nailed It yet, like, just it's such a lighthearted good time. If you need to be cheered up or just have a fun laugh, watch Nailed It, because Nicole Byer is just hilarious. Her
and
jokes,
Jacques.
and and Jacques, and just Wes.
It's a good time all
and then
around.
Just watching people doing their best attempts at baking is fun because it's relatable. If you're not a skilled baker like me, I'm like, oh yeah, that's me. I'm just like half-ass going through things or just like cheating and stuff like that.
That's always the fun part, when they just devolve into cheating. It's the greatest.
Yep.
But yeah, that's my recommendation for the week.
Nice. There's that one guy, quickly before we wrap up, that one guy, I can't remember specifically, I think he like undercooked the cake, but he was so confident that it was going to be fine, and then when he like took it out and flipped it over, it just like melted everywhere because the batter wasn't cooked yet. And she's like, ooh. She's like, I don't know if I'm going to eat that.
Right. And that's kind of one of the jokes of this new series. She's like, I've had enough of bad cake. I want to have good cake. Damn it! I've gone through so many years of bad cake. I want good cake.
Nice.
But yeah, I think it's maybe called Nailed It Competition. Maybe that's what it's called. But if you look up Nailed It, it'll be there.
Yeah, perfect. Excellent.
It's its own thing. Yeah, it's very good. It's very good. Do you have any recommendations this week, Kendra?
Well, I know I didn't discuss it. I'm hoping that you will eventually watch it so we can discuss it on the podcast together. But I recommend watching the Santa Summit. Like, honestly, I wasn't sure, because when we did the list, we were like, maybe, I don't know, but it had Hunter King in it, and we were kind of like, but then, like I said, I recorded it. And I watched it the other night because I was like, I don't have anything else to do, so I'll watch it. And man, I was pleasantly surprised. It was actually a really fun movie.
Hell yeah.
Like, the beginning was a little weird, but we got into it and it was really fun. So I highly recommend, if you want to get into the Christmas spirit and have a good laugh and listen to Cher sing a Christmas song, go watch the Santa Summit. It's a good time.
Yeah, I still have to make my Excel spreadsheet and share it with the girls to be like, okay, what movies do you think we're going to watch? So I can figure out what the ones I can watch in the meantime.
I feel like all you guys would like the Santa Summit, so that should be on your list.
I will put it in as a request. Be like, hey, request.
Hell yeah.
I feel like it will work over because I said we should watch 3 Wise Men and a Baby from your recommendation, so I feel like it'll go over well.
Hell yeah. And I feel like maybe you'll watch it and go, I didn't get that at all, but for some reason it gives me kind of just like the humor and the style with like the couple of musical numbers in there. It kind of was giving me like Pitch Perfect vibes a little bit.
Ooh.
So that's what also sold me on it too. So I was like, hell yeah, Caleigh's gonna enjoy it.
I fucking will. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. Oh boy. Yeah, thanks for watching.
Drop us a like on the video if you enjoyed today's episode at all. Subscribe to two pretty cool gals, in our opinion.
I think so.
We would appreciate it, because I mean, we like doing this, and we hope that you guys get some sort of joy and entertainment, or company listening and watching to us.
Exactly.
And leave a comment below if there's any of the things that we discussed today you have any thoughts you'd like to share, or if you're excited about anything as well, or any recommendations you have for us. Let us know.
Please do.
Yeah.
Please, please, please. But anyways, guys, watch all the content. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Bunky, bunky.
Monkey.
And